viewers into informed sports enthusiasts. Get the best in game live coverage during all the games, as well as the most in-depth pregame previews from hosts like Scott Farrell, Donnie Rightside, Ben Stevens, Gabe Morency, and many more. To find out where you can watch Sports Grid, go to sportsgrid.com/watch. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
And now it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Rock Cod Rick Maxa. We're in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup here right next to the San Diego Landings in Point Loma. We have our buddy, our friend, and a great guest, Captain Ben Florentino from Coastal Charters is here talking some fishing here, and boy, did he bring a great gift for you today. It's like early Christmas time. Stay tuned. This is Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Sports Grid Radio Network, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Hey, San Diego, the Ford Get Holiday Ready sales event is going on now at your San Diego County Ford dealers. The biggest deals of the year to finish 2024, featuring America's best-selling truck, Ford F-Series, leading for 47 straight years. Or check out the full lineup of versatile Ford SUVs, including Bronco or Bronco Sport. Don't wait. Come take a test drive today. Get holiday ready only at your local San Diego County Ford dealers. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Many years ago, Baja pioneer Bob Van Wormer found the area he called the Great Fish Trap in the East Cape of southern Baja and built what is now regarded as the premier East Cape resorts of Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Today, following in their father's footsteps, Bob's sons, Bobby, Chucky, and Eddie, have taken Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol to new levels with the largest sport fishing fleet in Mexico, a luxurious spa, and top-of-the-line resort amenities. Van Wormer Resorts have become a destination for travelers worldwide. But for us, Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol are just a short 2-hour flight away. No other tropical fishing destination offers the experience and value that you'll find at Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Now you can plan your Baja fishing vacation quick and easy by visiting VanWarmerResorts.com. And when you're ready to...
Hey guys, coming up in 10. Stand by.
Okay.
777772
Ready,
for
Benny?
more information. Van Wormer Resorts, the East Cape's finest.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. What a great show today is going to be with one of our great buds, man. Super looking forward to it. Can't wait for today, man. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Captain Ben Florentino, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Great
what
to have you.
beautiful day at
Isn't it? Yeah.
on San Diego Bay.
Santa Ana condition once again.
Just gorgeous.
It's supposed to be 70 degrees today. We're loving that.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, time to go fishing.
Roger that.
Yeah. Speaking of time, today would be a Clemente run, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately for Clemente, man, it's been tough there.
Has it?
Oh,
Okay.
man. We fished last weekend with a good friend of mine and his son, Caden, and Ron Matro. And we did middle of the island all the way around to the front. We had maybe 8 bass.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we caught all our fish on the front, but they were no bigger than 2 pounds.
Why
Fun
do you-
bite.
Why do you think that is? Just off?
I don't know.
Correct.
You know, I fished the beach yesterday for 10 bass for 6 hours.
Yikes.
You know, if you looked at or watched Eric Landis' fine report, BD Outdoors on YouTube, I mean, everybody's having all the guys that are bass heads.
Mm-hmm.
We're struggling right now, man. It's
Yeah.
a tough bite. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I love the weather. You know, I brought the Camus down.
Yeah.
Ricky
cool.
and the boys at Fisherman's allowed me to park in one of the spots. I believe it's
Nice.
the RP spot. But man, I was, you know, blazing down the channel up to the landing, and it's just perfect class and good to see anglers out taking advantage of the rock fishing. You know, the ones I did talk to, they're all going rock fishing.
Yeah, rockfish has been good.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
Don't forget, then California waters, that ends at the end of this year for four months.
I know.
Can you believe that? But we're fortunate here because we can still slip over the board and catch them. right?
It's another
But-
12 miles.
Yeah.
It's back on again.
Yeah. So, Benny, tell us about that Camus from West Coast Marine.
Yeah,
That thing is like insane.
I got to see it when I was walking up to the world headquarters, parked there. It looks good, buddy.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. You know, I mean, it's a very stable platform. I mean, I've been out in 20 knot winds and just right over the top. You know, with that stepped tunnel hull, it just rides. You know, it's typical of the East Coast, and you'll see it in a lot of. You see it down here, like Ali's boat and a couple of the other boys that have that run the 6-packs are running those Go Fast 36-foot yellow fins, and they're all stepped hull. You know, it's everything that looks like Florida and Carolinas that are out here because we make those long runs and we want comfortable, fast rides.
Right.
I mean, I made it back from the middle of the island, Clemente, to Newport in like an hour and 20 minutes.
Come
doing
on.
like 38
Come
knots.
on. No way.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
Just cruising.
So that stepped hull, does it give it kind of the effect of like a trimaran maybe or catamaran?
pretty much it picks the
Yeah.
hull up, you know, and with that, you know, it's powered by a 400 Verado V10.
Whoa.
Yeah, with the jack plate. So
That's some power.
it's got a lot of torque, but I don't have to run very high RPM. So if you run smart, like the 35 mile an hour is like the sweet spot. Yeah, it's a sweet
Super
spot.
efficient.
Super efficient. You're getting about 2.4, 2.6.
gosh.
Yeah, in a big motor, right?
No way.
So you really got to be you manage your fuel really well. So, I mean, you want to go fast. Like on a day-to-day, you want to do 50. I've gone close to 60 in that thing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, trimmed up and just, you know, but, you know, 60 means that much less gas you're
Yeah,
going to have
yeah.
wherever you need to go. So you have to be real efficient. But it's comfortable. You know, we have a T-top on it. If I have to do it over again, I'd go back to the arch and maybe put isinglass or something around, just because that T-top is it's just in the
casting way.
Yeah, casting.
Yeah.
But otherwise, man, the storage is incredible. The ride's incredible. You know, I have it rigged with Solix 12 Humminbirds with side imaging up and down, 175 kW through. I mean, it's
Wow.
it's rigged. And you know what? It's for sale. So if you want to,
Really?
if you want
Yeah.
to take a drive and buy that boat, talk to Nick Kelly or Kyle Meza at West Coast Marine. The boat's for sale, and I'll be glad to take you for a spin, or you can come out. But
You getting another one?
well, we'll see what happens. Here
Yeah.
in the new year. We'll see. you
Yeah.
know.
Well, that's fantastic. And of course, you equip everything with all the Shimano gear that anybody wants to use when you take people fishing.
Yeah.
What's the latest from Shimano that you can talk about it?
There's some really nice reels coming out in
Coming out
2025.
that
Yeah,
you can't talk about.
I can't talk about them, but I field tested them, you know, during the summer, and I think the anglers, just like they did with Talica, it's going to be an upgrade from what you had before.
That's cool.
I mean, nothing's wrong with, like, say, the old Talicas. And in fact, I think you guys blew those out during your sale,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully anglers took advantage because nothing's wrong with them. We just upgraded the Talica, you
Yeah.
know, just like they did with the Trinidad a ways back. And we're going to do the same with a couple other reels, and hopefully some bigger announcements as we go into 2025. But yeah, the boat's fully equipped with Terramar, G Loomis spinning rods, nothing but the best, Stratix sustains, and all Tranks and Corrado DCs for the lighter gear.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. The DC thing is just like it's a next level thing.
It's I think it's the best guide reel you can have.
Yeah. Did you say a Tranks DC?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not say.
Yeah.
Unless I accidentally said it, but
Yeah,
I
Captain
meant
Ben
Corrado.
Florentino would like to be very clear in saying that he did not say that.
But he did say Corrado DC.
I did
Yeah.
say Corrado DC,
Yeah, okay.
on lighter rods, and that's such a versatile
and
reel.
what is a DC? The Corrado DC.
Yeah, it's digitally controlled to with a built-in. I guess what I tell them, I guess it kind of memorizes the inertia or the spin of the reel, so it'll slowly brake electronically, and so your next cast should be almost mimic the last. And as you give it more, it goes more.
Wow.
But it does help you brake. It is not the cure-all for backlash.
Sure.
No.
It is not the
It's
cure-all.
still backlashes.
It's still backlashes, so
but just not as bad.
yes. And you still have an adjustment. You still have the variable brake on the side. And, but I've taught a lot of kids, a lot of beginners. It's just the best reel for teaching and confidence for a lot of anglers, because that seems to be the big deal is fishing a bait cast or open face is backlash.
Totally.
You know, they want to go to the spin reel, but they want to learn how to fish a casting reel. And I always say, hey, let's just commit like an hour to it. And I actually do pretty much a class on it for about an hour. And some people pick it up quick. Some you need that hour.
And you can adjust how much braking you want the digital control to do for you. And if you have it in the hands of somebody who's not familiar with casting a conventional reel, you turn that thing all the way up and give a good basics of it. You're going to greatly to almost completely reduce the amount of backlash. You might not get the casting performance that a Benny's going to get with a surface iron rod, but then as the skill set improves, and you can start backing off the amount of braking that the reel has, and then the performance comes with it.
And that's what we do. You know, they get the mechanics in, right?
Totally.
Like I always tell them, it's 2 to 9, turn your wrist. 2 to 9, turn your wrist. And, you know, you talk to any captain or you watch them fish. I mean, I learned that from Frank Lepresi in a seminar like eons ago, where it was always here, turn your wrist. You end up pointing the rod where you want the lure to go. And we teach that all day long, and I'll say it until I stop saying it. That means they've got it. So
that's cool.
It's all about thumb pressure. It's all about mechanics. But once they get it, turn it back. They get farther, you know, foot at a time, I always say.
And that's the cool thing about going fishing with Captain Ben Florentino is that not only are you going to have a great day on the water, but you can learn some new things, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can improve your skills. Yep.
And they can fish anything they want. Weedless, jerk baits, spinner baits, A-rigs, surface iron. I mean, I have it all in the boat. It's a pretty much a floating tackle store.
I love it.
Yeah.
Got it all.
I love
Speaking of tackle store, you brought some of your tackle to share with our caller or texter today, right?
Yeah. So, you know,
show us.
I know that you guys are live now, so I figured I'd bring a prop out of the boat.
Absolutely.
So what we're giving away.
Is that the DC Tranks?
No, this is a standard Tranks. I did not say DC.
Yeah.
But with our technology, you never know.
You never know.
You never know. So we're giving away a Terramar 80 MH. It's the newer version of the Terramar. I'm sure it's pretty popular at Fisherman's Landing for the inshore boys.
Our most favorite.
And it's great for if you're fishing the islands, in the bays, coastal, Cedros, Bonitos, wherever. If you're fishing bass, you can throw A-rigs, jerk baits, 140, 170, current snipers, you know, AFCO's swimmers. It's a great, it's all around
beefy rod that can throw the heavy
65-pound Power Pro. I fish Max Quattro on all my reels.
Yeah.
On the Tranks 300s, and it's either 40, 50, or sometimes 60 fluorocarbon leader.
So your go-to is a Tranks 300.
This is probably the standard that everybody fishes in the boat. Now I go to something different. If I'm fishing a 7-inch weedless, I'm fishing a 7.6 medium heavy Tranks 300 HG with the power handle. And the reason why you're getting a little
power handle, the difference is show the power. Now that's the regular handle.
This is your standard handle here, and then the power handle will be that knob,
the one with the knob,
which is single knob, right?
Serious power.
And with 7.6, I think I feel the angler gets better leverage when they go from bite here to here, and they can just grind on it that way. And you got a shorter rod. And I feel that 7.6 maybe shuts down. When I say shut down, you know, usually on these 8-footers shut down maybe about the 4th or 5th guide. That 7.6, it tends to shut down. And what I mean by shut down is you see the bend in the rod.
Yeah.
This is what we call shutting down right up in here. So
right there.
And 7.6 is a little bit shorter. You got a little bit more leverage.
Yeah, you got the sound effect in there.
Yeah, we're live.
So we're going to give away that rod.
We're going to give away this rod to one lucky caller or texter.
Shimano will ship it to him.
Shimano will ship it.
It won't be
directly.
a used one; it'll be a brand new one.
It'll be we don't want to give any of these away. He's had a rough summer. So.
Yeah, they caught a lot. How many bass do you think
I was
caught on that? Huh?
You know what's funny is one of my clients asked me that yesterday. He goes, "Have you done your analysis yet?" I go, "No. I'll take all my logs and do it,because I like to do it at the end of the year, because it's like last year was something like 2,432. You know, because you know that's all I focus in is on bass. You know, throw in 40 yellowtail, maybe a sea bass, and a bunch of other googly gobbs. But I really do
Any
try
bluefin this year on the way there and the way back?
No, zero.
Year before, yeah.
Year before, yes.
right.
A lot of foamers, a lot of chances, a lot of too big to get.
It's like, no, we're not going to try and catch that.
No.
You see much of the Catalina or Clemente black sea bass chasing a hook bass back to the boat these days?
Yes.
Is that becoming more of a thing?
That's still there on the east end of Cat. Yes, fishing some of those outer stones.
Okay.
Yes, you'll hook a small calico and see this big submarine come up and try to eat it.
Wow.
There is resident blacks there, especially on the east end. There's a couple of rocks out there that are there.
Have some big black sea bass.
And then of course the west end, there's always that monster there that's always eating.
There's a resident monster one.
Yeah. I've seen one like
how big is the monster?
Like 100 something. I seen him eat a 4-pounder next to the skiff.
Oh, no way.
Winding it in next to the skiff. 2 guys up on the bow watching the bass come up, and this thing came up, inhaled it, turned, and busted me off.
Wow, that's crazy.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, no doubt.
And we had to leave because that was it.
I wonder what he did with the lead head.
Oh, I'm sure it just went in and went out.
That thing's got a mouth like a 5-gallon bucket. I don't think he cared one bit about that.
One
thing.
fell swoop and it was gone.
That's cool.
Wow. That's cool. Yeah. So when somebody goes fishing with Coastal Charters, how do you decide where to go?
Yeah. A lot of people, that's it. They go, well, I'll sign up for it. I'll pay you for whatever you do, but let me know what we're going to do. So, the thing about the anglers is they don't need to worry about tackle. They don't need to worry about water, Coke, Diet Coke, Gatorade. They don't need to worry about rain gear because now I've outfitted the boat with some great AFCO transformers, the pants and jackets.
Nice. Yeah,
it's great
Oh,
stuff.
and I have every size from 2X to small.
And you have that all on the boat.
All on the boat. So
Wow.
I have all that. So usually you just bring your lunch and snacks and you're good to go. So it's always up to me to decide. And I'm like, God, it'd be nice for them to just tell me I want to go here, and then I could focus. But they're all about,
You have to make the call.
yeah, and it's
Captain
okay.
Ben.
God, Clemente's been biting, but God, do I want to come back in that again?
Yeah.
But I appreciate it. That's a lot of compliments to where I've been and what I'm doing.
Sure.
I have a regular. His name is Sam. That was out with me yesterday. He fished with me about 10 to 12 times a year, and he just signs up every year and just gives me dates. And whatever I do, we do. Whatever we don't, 1 year we were chasing kelp patties, catching yellows in Dorado, and 1 year we're just fishing bass on the coast, and everything's different. So he likes that. Back in the back bay, we fished Newport yesterday after fishing the beach, caught a couple spotties. So
how much do people get wrapped up into Clemente? It's when it's on and fire and it's this mystique and it's big fish and you just can't help but, Pete said the same thing this morning and I certainly thought the same too. Like, oh, it's Clemente, it's always biting. It's always, but you got a significant run to get out there. You've got an even tougher run to get back, and that burns up a lot of your fishing time. And
then the Navy issues.
Totally. When the beach is on, it gets no better.
Yep.
Catalina's closer. Like,
there are people that do sign up. I want to go to Clemente, never been there. I go, man, for the last month, it's been tough. Some of the best guys go out there. It's not an easy feat to get out there. You have to have the right vehicle to get there. Yeah. Number one. Number two, it's got to be committed. And, like I said, last week with friends, I went from Seal Rock all the way around up to pretty much the closure. That's a long haul covering.
And how many bass?
30.
30. That's a pretty good day.
It is, but when you go to Clemente, you don't want this. You want, you're there for trophies. And, when you're fishing for friends, you're fishing for good ones.
Yeah. Right? Now, I'm asking, because you brought a banana for breakfast.
Yes.
I see. You can see if you're looking at. Did you have bananas on the boat?
I don't care. I eat them.
That could be the problem. I'm just saying. Right?
Are you a banana guy?
Try and take those bananas off. You might change your luck there.
But yeah, about Clemente, things have changed. We used to go back in the day, any time of the year, especially in the fall, especially wintertime. You get these fantastic conditions. You get good tide swings, all that. There's bait. The current's good. Water looks incredible. You would think you'd fire a surface iron and just get a couple of giants come up
on every cast.
Yeah, it's been tough, man. Yeah. Really keeps you humble and work for them, Yeah. So I tell
know the
people,
water's colder this year, earlier than I can remember.
I think it's normal.
Is it?
If you think 10 years ago, remember we had like 68 degrees in January and the yellows were biting and all that. I mean, you guys had like the most phenomenal yellowtail fishing in forever. So something's different in the ocean.
Definitely.
The bluefin aren't as close.
Right.
You had smatterings of it.
No,
but,
you're absolutely
but
right.
not like it has been. So there's
more of a normal cycle.
Something's different. You know, there's still a ton of bait out there. I mean, everywhere
yeah.
you look, there's spots of chovy and
wonderful
everything.
Yeah, that's good.
And it's weird. It's a long ways down now. It's a couple 100 miles, but the yellowfin and bluefin fishing for this time of year, it's the best it's ever been. You know, if you're on it's crazy to even call it this, but almost an extended 3-day trip.
Yeah,
like to do it right, you've got to be on a 3-day that leaves first thing in the morning so you can get all that travel time. But if you can get down there, it is spectacular. Like good doesn't describe it. You know, long range boats are like getting full, like filling all the wells. And there's been a couple stories the last couple of days of, you know, boats down there with the guys quit fishing. You know, the big bluefin at night was so good after a full daytime of 50 to 90 pound yellowfins that people just quit. Like I'm done. I got nothing left. Like,
and a lot of fly line fish.
Unreal. It's unreal what's going on down there right now. Yeah.
And line and not line shy here.
Yeah.
Just,
oh my God, I love it.
That sounds good. Yeah, I know Jonathan Yamani has been posting like regularly, and he does a really good
He
job.
really does.
On Aurora Polaris and posting.
Yeah.
Like they've just been. I mean, it's just like every night, every day. I mean, they're just getting them.
Did you see the fish that John Collins caught on the Royal Polaris?
Yeah. What was it? 290.
290.
Yeah. John Collins, who's in his 80s, right?
Yeah.
Only a couple 100 miles
He's
down.
a badass.
He is a badass. There's not another word to describe that man's a badass, no doubt.
For sure. Well, as you can hear, we have a great show lined up for you today.
You're not kidding. So stoked to have Captain Benny in here and just so much great stuff to cover. Sport boat, private boat, inshore, offshore, the whole nine. We're going to be having a great time, and we are really looking forward to talking to you. If you want to be a part of Let's Talk Hookup this morning and get in on the fun, 213-432-1090 is how you do it. Again, 213-432-1090. That's the phone number here to Let's Talk Hookup. My phone has been buzzing all morning hearing all the texts come through. A very, very popular guest, and there's going to be a lot of text questions as well as your phone calls. And if you want to send us a text, the only way to do that is through the Let's Talk Hookup app. It's a free download. It's the easiest way to listen to Let's Talk Hookup. You can catch all the past archive shows. If you caught something that you really wanted to hear again from last week, or you're able to, you missed part of a show, you can catch anything through the Let's Talk Hookup app. You can listen on your drive home from work. It's a really fun way to do it. And it's the only way to text in your questions to Benny today. Make sure you include your contact info as well. Just a name and a phone number needs to accompany your text, because you might win that unreal prize that Benny talked about at the beginning of the show. We're giving away a brand new Terramar 80 MH rod to one lucky caller or texter. That is my favorite rod in the Terramar lineup. Yeah. It's just, you said it best, but it does everything. You could lead head and squid for a bass. You could catch a yellow on a kelp. You could fly line for a school-sized tuna. It's a fancy, you throw an A-rig for spotties in the bay. That is the most all-around rod. It's attractively priced. It's got a great warranty, and it is a killer rod that somebody's going to get at the end of the show today. How cool is that?
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to be having a lot of fun. Again, if you want to join us, get in on the fun. 213-432-1090. When we come back, we're going to be taking your phone calls, reading those texts, and a whole lot more fun with Captain Ben from Coastal Charters. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California's sport fishing voice, on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the Sports Grid Radio Network.
Hey guys, this is Ali Husseini from Local Knowledge and BD Outdoors. I'm a lucky guy in so many ways, and one thing I'm really grateful for is my little brother, Yosef. Yosef is not only a fellow angler, but he's also an amazing realtor that specializes in helping us in the angling community find the ultimate home. If you own a home, get a free no-obligation evaluation online now by typing in SoCalHomeEval.com. That's SoCalHomeEval.com. All you do is put in your address, and you'll get a home value report immediately sent to your email. No pressure, no obligations, just answers. Yosef is the SoCal real estate go-to guy. He's helped me and so many of my fellow fishing buddies find what they're looking for in a home. He knows anglers, and he understands the real estate market. Not only that, but he's also a really nice guy. How many brothers can you say that about? Go to SoCalHomeEval.com and find out where you stand in the real estate market, and then get with Yosef and find your ultimate home. Again, go to SoCalHomeEval.com, and we'll see you on the water.
Give your boat the love it deserves and install a custom Sea Deck kit from Blue Seas Fabrication. Blue Seas is the West Coast's only certified Sea Deck fabricator and installer. Sea Deck upgrades the look and feel of any boat, old or new. Sea Deck non-skid decking adds comfort, convenience, safety, and value. Let the experts from Blue Seas Fabrication custom fit your deck, bridge, and interiors with stylish, durable, stain-resistant, and easy-to-clean Sea Deck. Check BlueSeasFabrication.com and enhance your fishing experience.
24 years ago, I visited this amazing place called Hawaii Archipelago. I just could not get enough of these amazing islands, natural beauty, friendly people, and phenomenal fishing. I knew I had to spend more time there. Moving forward to today, here I am, a fishing lodge owner. Hi, this is Valerie Hilbridge from Queen Charlotte Safaris in beautiful Hawaii Islands, British Columbia, Canada. We are a boutique lodge just steps from the Sanskrit Harbor, offering a truly unique fishing adventure. Our fishing is world class. You will fish for king salmon, halibut, lingcod, and much more. Our fishing grounds are untouched, unspoiled, and surrounded by stunning scenery. We are dedicated to making your adventure an experience that will be a lifetime of memories. We will welcome you as friends, and you will leave as part of the Queen Charlotte Safaris family. You will come for the fishing, and you'll come back for the memories. We are booking now. Please give me a call at 1-877-815-2892, or check us out on
All right, guys, coming back.
Or website qcsafaris.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning, talking fun with Captain Ben. Coastal Charters, again, it's going to be a very busy morning if you want to get through. 213-432-1090 is the way you do it.
Yeah, Danny's manning the phones today. Thanks, Danny, for being there. 213-432-1090. And the phones are packing up, so let's jump into it.
Yeah, no surprise there. How about we start it off in San Diego? We got Roy calling us. Roy from San Diego's on the line. Good morning, Roy.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing this morning?
What's up, Roy? Good morning.
Benny, quick question. I noticed that Tranks came out recently with a couple of smaller reels, 150 and a 200. What would be the difference or the rationale going one way or the other on those reels?
Well, you know, the 150, I mean, a lot, like if you ask Corey, it's probably one of his favorite El Salto, Pikachu's freshwater reel that you have. It's real versatile in the fresh.
I've seen him use it a lot in salt too.
In the surf, right?
Yeah, surf or even rock fishing. I've seen him
Is that?
Yeah, seen him do it.
Cow. But it's a nice compact. There's not a whole lot of difference. I mean, I have two, but I don't fish them that often just because that Corrado, that 150 DC is such a popular reel, and I have them. We fished the 200s yesterday. I think what I like mainly for me is I like the line capacity because I can put 50-pound Max Quattro on the 200, and it still has the bones if somebody's not too confident throwing a 300, and still has the bones to put pressure on pretty decent bass, and if you hook a smaller yellow or barracuda or bonita on a jerkbait or something, and that's what I like throwing is the jerkbait. You can still get away with the 150s, but and I helped field test that reel, and it's a cool reel. It casts incredible, especially with 30-pound, 20-pound braid. I mean, you could launch a small spinnerbait a mile. So it's all preference, as far as size.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of that reel too. Is like there, across the board, that's a saltwater strong platform. Fit it to your hand, fit it to the type of fishing you're going to be doing. Like Benny said, with Max Quattro, line capacity becomes less of an issue because you're going to put plenty of line on whichever one of those you pick. Like you said, Corey cracked me up. Corey's a big guy. He's got big hands. He fishes big fish, and he loves using too small of a reel. And I can say that because I tease him all the time. Like anything that you think is the appropriate size, Corey's 2 sizes down for that. Never fishes a 400, like always a 3 or a 2 or the one,
or the 150
exactly.
Tranks,
yeah. But you know what? That little reel's killer.
It
Fish it all day long. It's light. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
They do a nice job, no doubt.
And how much line can you get on that 150? You guys know?
Plenty.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think 20-pound. Geez, I don't know.
I couldn't tell you to the yard, but way more than you need. You know what I mean? Like way more. Like Benny says that if you hook the wrong fish with the right reel, you're still fine.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Roy, nice to hear from you. Thanks for the call. Happy holidays to you. You have a great text on it.
I sure thought so. Yeah, good one to get us started with anyways this morning. as we
Boy, the text, I'm just opening up the text.
That's
Wow,
crazy.
You're popular, Benny.
Well, mine was from Darren and Menifee, and it says, "Hey, happy December, boys, and especially to Captain Benny. I love throwing plastic. Corey's MC Weedless is my all-time favorite, but for wintertime, I was curious what Benny's go-to bait for fishing lower in the kelp or all the way down to the bottom on structure would be."
My favorite is throwing a 1 ounce war bait in rock crab, which is basically red with black skirt, and Corey's 5-inch, anything with that brown and red in it, so it mimics some kind of lobster, crab, small rockfish, and just, you know, that's the way we've been fishing. We've just been fishing structure in like 40, 50 feet and just feeling structure, and you're going to lose a few, so you might have to come down to Fisherman's or wherever you're at and load up on a few. But, you know, if you come fishing with me, I don't really shake too much if you lose a few, because I think if you're in the structure, that's where you're going to find your bites. These fish tend to just go after that. And, you know, if you're really aware of it, lately we've been seeing a lot of lobster shells, which tells me some of them are molting. And when they molt, man, they're like candy to these big bass.
Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, because it's soft shell. They can just
soft shell. They slurp them right up. Yep.
Yeah.
Is there much of a difference, or do you worry much, you know, from wintertime to summertime on the difference in shape? Like you know, Corey's got the traditional swim bait that's kind of wider and bigger tail and slower kick versus the Viejo that's that longer, skinnier, you know, more body wiggle. Like, or is it more important to just get one in front of a fish, you know, structure-wise?
Yeah, in structure, you just got to put it in front of their face. Mm-hmm. But I tend to fish the Viejos in the summer because it's got a little bit more erratic movement in the water column. Water's warmer, fish are more active. They tend to sense that on their lateral lines, whereas wintertime, they hunker down, water's colder. There might be like a thermocline where it's 58 on the surface and it could be 54, 53 where they're living. We noticed that a lot of the fish were cold, like icebergs.
Really? Like when you're grabbing hold of them and taking the hook out, you notice how cold it is.
Cold. Okay. Yesterday, they were really cold. So that just tells me there's some cold thermocline or upwelling, and they're just, you know, they don't want to move, man. They're like us.
Benny, how do you do it, man? You'd like fishing all day and day after day and just keep at it. You're like the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah, Matt always says, I can't believe you do that. You drive from where you drive. You know, you know what? I enjoy it. You ask any guy. I'm not going to be a millionaire doing it, but I enjoy it. I enjoy.
None of us are in this business to be a millionaire. That's for sure.
You know, I enjoy the people. I enjoy being out. You know, yeah. I mean, my day starts on a regular day starts at 3 a.m. I wake up. I'm out the door by 3:30. Pick up the boat at AFCO at 4:30, 4:45. Go fuel. Pick up my guests at 6. Fish. You know, whatever they do that on the freeway, sitting in traffic. Come home, repeat.
Wow, you're an animal.
All summer, all spring,
see,
winter.
The thing about bass, you can catch them year round. You know, I mean, I did 20 days in November, and I'm on track this month to do 15
in December.
Wow,
that's awesome.
Hey,
man.
Eric in Pomona has a great text here, and it's a really good idea too. He says, "Good morning, guys. Happy holidays. I was hoping one of you could elaborate on how and when you are looking for the zone to cast. You want to find the current to do the right thing. What is the right thing? What am I looking for? I'm looking for current behavior or how fish are going to be in certain locations." So that's a good question, because you could be in an area and there's different zones. I mean, where are the fish?
I could tell you this much. If you fish with a guide and he says cast in that zone there, cast there. That's what I could tell you. But
is that because you're familiar with the area?
Yeah, a lot of the areas. I mean, I've been fishing some of these areas for 35 plus years. But every day is different. You know, if I do 10 days in a row, you can't go there and like freshwater, right? Guy will go to a lake. Oh yeah, it's been doing this every day at this time. Boom, boom, boom. They'll do that for a week and then they change. Our lake changes differently, but I just look for you look for current, you look for some kind of bait fish and water temp, and you just look for activity. You see birds kind of dipping and diving. Number one, I see birds this time of year. I'm going to go there, whether they're sitting, doing something. Either it's going to happen or it already happened and you might catch the tail end.
Yeah.
But you look for some kind of life. if you see an area that's just void of life, that the kelp straight up, or there's no surge, along the rocks or anything, go find something else. I'm constantly moving. I moved. It's 10 casts. We're out.
Mark Bush always talks about conditions. It's all about conditions, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can get bite. Like yesterday, they bit the crankbait at slack tide. That's what we caught most of them on deep diving cranks.
Deep diving cranks.
Yeah.
Like big ones?
Like 10XD deep.
Oh, arm sore kind.
Painful.
Yeah.
But, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Any particular color they like to eat, or
it's funny. It was natural, like the chartreuse sexy shad, and then the chartreuse and blue.
How deep does that dive?
So what we do is we make a long cast. I run the boat up, kind of let it dive a little bit, like maybe 20 yards. So it dives about 20 feet, and the rest you crank, and you're hitting 30 plus feet.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah. The key is to get that thing going down.
Get it down.
So you're not cranking and you're not losing line. So at least if you go 20 yards, you got 20 yards back and it's already halfway down. So when you start cranking, it's
you move the boat with the reel and gear.
No. Put it in free spool. Put a little pressure so it's going down. Put it in free spool. Put a little pressure so it's slowly going down. It pauses, going down. Like if you were cranking it, you know how you crank, hit structured, pause, crank, pause. So now you're in the zone. And hooks in all 3 hooks in the mouth and one in the head.
Violent.
Wow.
Oh,
they're
eating it. Yeah, that's
so
cool.
Fun. Yeah. And what about, you can't really do that in kelp, right?
No, kelps. When you see fish, like say you just had activity and then they stop, the fish are still there. So what do? You take like a swim jig or a swim bait and just flip kelp. That's what we do. Downsize and flip kelp.
Going back to that big crankbait like he's talking about, which I haven't done, so I'm only assuming, but at Salto and places like that, the coolest thing about a bigger crankbait bite like that is it's not a small bait where they just like inhale it and it's gone. Like they, when they're eating something that big, they got to kill it, and they got to chase it down and smash it. And like the bites are usually so violent.
They're so angry.
My favorite part about a bigger bait like that at Salto or something is it's not like the, oh, hey, I got one. I mean, they're like, whatever they're doing, they're smashing it or pinning it to the bottom, or they know that like they got to kill that tilapia before they can get it spun around. And like the bites are just rip the rod out of your hand. So much fun.
So much fun.
That's got me fired up.
Yeah. Hey, 213-432-1090 open right now. You want to get a chance to win a great rod from Shimano at Terramar.
How cool is that, dude?
Like a Benny special, right? Yeah. There's your chance. Let's jump in the phone.
Mike from Rosemead is up next here on Let's Talk Hookup. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. You basically have already covered the water temperature situation. As it gets colder, in December and January, and you've already covered that, so it kind of blew the wind out of my sails. But I'll just change it around. The crankbaits, are they weighted? Do they gradually just sink, or are they floaters and then you just have to crank harder or back up to get them deeper?
Some will suspend.
So are they like a neutral?
Yeah, some will suspend. There's so many different ones, but I know the 10XDs has a shifting weight in it, like a ball bearing. So when you cast it, it goes from one end to the other to give you distance. But they tend to, they're floaters. The 10XDs are floaters. Some of the others can't suspend. If you can find suspending ones, those are the best. They're good for the bay. They're good for fishing rock walls. Because what happens is as that thing's digging in the rock and you pause it, it stays right there. So if it floats, sometimes it floats too fast and the fish may not react to it as much. But if it pauses, boy, they won't let it get away. They'll crush, as we were saying, they'll come up and crush that thing.
They do hate something that just sits there in front of them. Like it's not going up, it's not going down, it's just sitting. It's like challenging. Like
they have no choice than to eat it. I mean, we had some bass yesterday that had squid in its throat, but they're eating this plastic crankbait.
Just had to.
They had to.
I love it.
So mad.
Yeah, that's cool. Great. You have a great text, huh?
I do, and I thought it was a really good one. It says, "What a great show, Benny! You're such the ambassador for fishing. We love when you're on Let's Talk Hookup." It says, "I'm in love with my brand new Talica 12A, and I found it to be quite a significant upgrade from the previous generation 12. I'm headed out on a 4-day on Polaris Supreme on Friday. I'm not going to ask Benny about superstitions, but I am curious to know his take on full moon fishing and the impact that it has both for our offshore yellowfin and bluefin in daytime versus nighttime, and then also about the bass on the kelp lines. That's all from DJ in San Diego.
Well, you know, we've caught, as far as bass is concerned, and Ricky could probably hit the tuna thing because I know it's usually the back of a full. But as far as full moon and all that, because a lot of guys try to plan their trips like that. I think they overanalyze. I go, hey, if your wife lets you go, just go, man. We'll figure it out. Because I don't know. I mean, sometimes they eat at night, sometimes they eat at the day. You know, you got to go. If you get a chance to go, just go, and we'll figure it out. I mean, some of the slow days we've had have been like 10 for 6 hours, but some of the slow days have been like 30 for 6 hours. Yeah. You know, it's all relative to whatever you want to do. And some days it'd be like 50, you know, not big ones, but you're catching, you know, for local. So
it's kind of like bananas on the boat. Sometimes they bite when the banana's on the boat, and sometimes they not, right?
That's it.
But you know, it's like you got to go when you go.
You got to go and just be open-minded, you know, not to let that affect you. Yeah, there definitely are some circumstance where full moon, back of the moon, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. Is there a best time? I don't know. You know, on some of the weather sites they have, you know, you look at it, Windy has it. They'll show little fish on there, 3 fish, 2 fish, 1 fish, no fish. It goes, oh, it's not a good time. I go, well, the weather's good. And you're able to go. Let's go.
Let's go.
You know, I've known her to be
Have
wrong.
you caught, and now when Wendy shows the 1 fish, do you still catch fish?
Yes.
At least one.
At least one.
That's a good thing.
In terms of the tuna thing, I couldn't agree word for word with Benny said more. Like, it does and can the moon have effect on things? Absolutely. But it's not the type of thing that you set your watch to that says it's good when it's this and it's bad when it's that. Sometimes, you know, the theories, they gather up and move. Sometimes they bite like hell. Sometimes they don't. It's a great excuse when you don't catch them, and it's just, you know,
it's like, wow, the full,
exactly.
Full moon. It was the dark of the moon.
Yeah.
Like,
if we crushed them, it's because my angling prowess was so good, and I put us on them, and we crushed, and it's just because I'm that good.
Right.
And if I went out and we failed, well, it's the moon. Anybody? Nobody's gonna catch them on a full. Everybody crazy? Like, hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way, including a whole lot more fun with Captain Benny. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California's sport fishing voice on the Sports Grid Radio Network and the Let's Talk Hookup app.
Wait, a 40-pound white sea bass off an inflatable Hobie kayak? Tell me about that.
I'm Logan from Basslane Kayaks on Mission Bay, and the whole story began when Ron Lane lent my parents some Hobie Mirage iTrex to put on their boat and take out to Catalina Island. That's when I borrowed the iTrek 11, threw it in my car, and drove down to Baja for a fishing and camping trip. Ended up landing a bucket list 40-pound white sea bass on the inflatable.
Dang, that sounds even better than our mammoth trip. When we packed up the kayaks in the car, snowboarded all morning, then drove down to the lakes, launched the iTrex, and fished for trout all afternoon.
Honestly, the iTrek inflatables are the ultimate fishing platform. From trout in the Sierras, calicos at Catalina, and white sea bass in the Sea of Cortez, they can do it all.
And we've documented all these trips, so check out Fastlane Kayaks on Instagram to see more. And if you think you want a kayak, but you're on the fence, come down to our shop. We're right on Mission Bay, and we would be happy to throw one in the water and let you give it a try. So call Fastlane Kayaks to schedule a demo today.
Summit Gasoline at the San Diego Sports Arena is the place to fill up your car, truck, and boat with the lowest gas and diesel prices. Did you know Summit is also the place to get the lowest prices on gourmet ice and snacks for your trip? $3.99 for 25 pounds of ice, as many as you want. That's half the price of others. Plus, you get 100 pounds of ice free with a 30-gallon fill. Kirkland products at lower prices than the store that makes them, plus dozens of great snacks for just 89 cents. They can now accommodate 24 cars and trucks to fuel at the same time, plus 12 diesel pumps, easy in and out too. Step into the Summit Bistro and enjoy what Martha and her crew have for you. Fresh made burritos, sandwiches, salad, along with beer, beverages, and of course, always free ice. Summit Gasoline low prices, friendly staff, free ice, and easy in and out with your boat and trailer at the San Diego Sports Arena.
All of us at the American Angler family want to express appreciation to our regular passengers that fish with us year after year, and to the new anglers that came out this last season. We realize how precious your vacation time is, and we are truly grateful that you have chosen to spend this time with us. It's important that your experience is memorable, from the moment you call the office to the time you step off the boat. Hi, I'm Lori. Call me at the office, 619-223-5414, or check us out at AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com. Come fishing with the American Angler family and make a memory.
This is Bob Hoots at Costa Sunglasses. Visual signs are a critical part of my fishing program, from bay bass to bluefin. I wear Costas to see what's out there. Costas are built with advanced polarization technology with our 580 lens, designed to cut through the sun's glare while providing enhanced color to see more fish. Costa was founded by a group of anglers wanting a high-performance lens for every fishing application.
Hey guys, coming back. Stand by.
Frame and lens for your adventures. CostaSunglasses.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup again. What a great show today has been so far. Plenty of time for you to get into. If you want to come get in on the fun, give us a call this morning at 213-432-1090, or keep those texts rolling through on the Let's Talk Hookup app.
Yeah, I have a great text here. Let me bring it up. It's from Royden from Spanish Fork, Utah. Nice to hear people listening to us on the Let's Talk Hookup app, of course. And it says, good morning. Guys, what a great show. Listening to Benny talk about some of the great gear and what to use and he helped develop. Can you elaborate a little bit more on the DC reels and how it's powered and how it works?
Also, can you elaborate more on how Pete keeps trying to get DC info out of Benny? Because I want that too. Yeah, let's keep that rolling also.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good job,
I like
Pete.
that. Yeah. We'll see. I guess we have to wait till July.
I think you might be right.
Wait till I cast. We'll see what happens. Elaborate on the DC technology. It's a proprietary thing by Shimano, and they've had that technology for a number of years now. I mean, it was way back when
the Trinidads,
right? The Calais. I mean, geez, guys are still paying a ton of dough for
like
those.
Over
$1,000
for the
$1,500. Yeah.
We had the gentleman in from Shimano yesterday. Yeah, yesterday at the shop. It's why that company works so good. Is the higher ups come into stores like ours all the time with a pencil and paper and are asking questions. What's good? What's not? What's this? What's not? Yeah. We love DC. I mean, I know that we're all joking about it right now, but that's what I told. One of the guys was from QC and a little bit lesser on fishing side of things and more on just exactly that, making sure things are right. And he was asking us about reels, and we joke with him every time we put in a note. We want another Trinidad 20 DC, and we all kind of laughed it off. But then, like you were talking about, guys still spending dough. Think about that. The kids that work in our store have the ability to buy any fishing reel that exists, and a Trinidad 20, in my opinion, is the single best surface iron reel that's ever been made. And yet, 3/4 of the guys are still fishing with a reel that now is 20 years old,
20 plus
25 years old.
Yeah.
It's like it's such a special thing for that little niche that, like,
I wonder if they'll ever bring it back.
I hope so, man.
Yeah.
I don't
because they obviously have the technology.
I don't know that it makes enough sense for enough markets.
Probably not,
but I sure hope so.
Yeah.
I tell you, my thought is, can you imagine the 500, a little smaller, like a 4.5 size DC?
That's the reel that I have hope for, because it's not just our market. The musky guys would go crazy for a 500 DC. Guys that
like a 500 Tranks.
That's. Trust me. I'm assuring you. I don't know anything with this. In my mind, it still has to make sense.
It's just a wish.
It's just a wish. You haven't been using it.
No, I have not.
Okay, all right.
We'll hook Benny up to a polygraph and see if we can get something out of him. But that, it has to make sense for them. Obviously we want a Trinidad 20 DC. We're the only place in the world that takes that conventional reel and then wants to cast lures.
Right.
No one else does that except for our little bitch thing.
Man,
it works so good. It would be so nice.
Yeah.
But a Tranks 500 DC, you could make the argument all over the place where people could and would use that for other scenarios.
Especially a little smaller for throwing a popper. How much more distance you'd get?
Yeah. What do you throw a surface iron with?
I throw with a 500.
A Tranks 500.
500. Yeah, and I do have 20.
What do you put on it?
I put 80-pound max and usually fish 60 to 80 depending on what I'm doing. 60 is probably the standard.
80-pound max.
Yeah.
Why 80 pound? Just because it comes off the reel better?
It comes off the reel just fine. You can pack like close to 200. I mean, you're making a bomb cast and that's it.
Yeah.
They're good for school size tuna. And I use that very, very lightly because, you know, 100-pound, I've had a 100-pounder eat a jig. But it's a good surface iron for throwing for yellows and for calico bass.
Yeah.
Especially because you can get them out of this stuff like right now.
Last Saturday, Danny Wade was on, and
good show. Great show.
Yeah, that was such a great show. If you missed it, go on the Let's Talk Hookup archives on the Let's Talk Hookup website or on the Let's Talk Hookup app and check that show out. But mono. That's all he talked about. It's like you got to cast with mono.
Yep.
I mean,
but with that too, and Danny very clearly said, you know, my information and my take on things is fishing from a sport boat or yellowtail on wherever it might be, at the Coronado Islands or wherever else. And I'm with him. Like you have nothing in your way, no kelp, no whatever else. Mono is easier to cast. Period.
Yep.
It just especially on every reel across the board. You know, but if you're fishing if you're fishing in a skiff on a kelp line, you know, then there are times when that does give you the advantage. And Danny would say the same thing. Like his info is a lifetime's worth of being on a sport
on
boat.
the bow.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. You got it.
Can you cast mono on a Tranx 500?
Yeah.
Does it cast okay?
It casts fine.
Fine.
40-pound, no problem.
Okay.
That's what's on the reels of the Shimano casting contest at Tackle
Is
Days.
it?
And
Wow.
it's mono for the same reason that Danny mentioned. It's just easier to cast. Now Tranx takes a ton of the difficulty factor out of it. In my opinion, it's the only reel if you're going to be casting straight Power Pro because of the two things. It's the combination of level wind and that variable braking system. It's those two things working together that make it so good.
But if you wanted something even easier, put 40-pound mono on it, huh?
Sure.
Is that what you're thinking? Yeah.
It'll come off the reel just fine.
Okay.
Yeah, just fine. You know, and I have Trinidad 20s with 40 and 50-pound on them on 9 and 10-foot jig sticks, you know, because I grew up on sport boats and that's what we threw. And
absolutely.
On
Do
a
you have
skiff,
any DCs, 20 DCs?
I did. I sold them for people that wanted to buy them for 12 and 15.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I got them for $300 back in the day, so why not? But I just think, you know, whatever you're used to fishing. I have guys that fish mono on the boat all the time. I dread it when they get stuck in the kelp.
Yeah.
But you know, you just go get it, you know. But I like the fact that if you hook a fish of a lifetime with 80-pound braid, 60-pound fluorocarbon, you're going to have a better than good chance of getting that fish in the boat,
out of the
which
kelp.
is always the goal. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, totally. Hey, let's jump back in the phones.
You got it. How about this time we talk to Tommy P. Tommy P's calling us from San Diego this morning. Good morning, Tommy.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. I just called in 2 seconds ago.
Hey, Tommy.
Your timing is good.
Yeah, you know, every year Wayne and I go fishing with Benny, and it's one of the highlights of the whole year for us. This guy is really good. I mean, we've had so much fun over a period of years, and just to see the looks and on Benny's face when he catches a fish is just incredible. But I had to call in and just say, hey, Benny, many thanks for all the good times that we've had out there, and I look forward to next August when we go again.
Well, thanks, Tommy.
So, anyway, that's all I had.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Just remember that biters are good, but catching is better, right?
Hey, Tommy, thanks for the call this morning. Appreciate that.
This was a slight elaboration on the last thing that we talked about. And it was a text from Matt in Apple Valley, and it was a question about surface iron fishing. But the one things that he asked for were the entire text was, what is your surface iron setup, which you graciously covered, but also what conditions are you looking for to throw iron at calico bass, and do you downsize the jigs from yellowtail to calicos? That's from Matt in Apple Valley.
As far as downsizing, no. I may change the color. I may go to like a straight mint, but lately I've been throwing Kicker Brand's Cali Sunrise and painting a black tail on it. It's like an orangey brown with orange, brown, and yellow jig. And I don't know what but they've been eating pretty steady. I fished Clemente last week and I caught a bunch on that. Nothing big, but that's kind of like mine. But for, you know, yellows, I like mint. But, you know, sometimes we're on that squid. They'll eat the same color as bass color. So that would be my suggestion to you.
All right.
Sounds
very
good to me.
good. Thanks a lot for the text and the phone calls too. The 213-432-1090 open right now. You want to get through? Let's jump back into it.
Well, we got another caller that's a little bit south of here where I wish I was at right now. That's all the way down on Los Barillas this morning. Good morning. Who's this?
This is Mark.
Oh, it's Mark. Okay.
What's up, Mark?
Hey, Mark from Los Barillas, Baja Sur.
give
Is
you
the
a
wind
quick-
blowing today, Mark?
Not yet.
Yeah.
But it blew a little bit yesterday.
Yeah.
Hey, the fishing is there's no pressure. I caught last week a 70-pound wahoo.
Woo!
And 6 dorado. Yesterday we caught 2 marlin. We had a triple on the marlin, and we ended up with 1 dorado. But the wind, it was bumpy.
Yeah.
My boat's not very big, so.
Well, you don't have to go very far down there.
That's the
usually,
beauty
right?
of it, yeah.
No. We were fishing off of Punta Pescador. And, it's the big thing is there's no pressure.
Yeah, that's
You know,
nice.
so, you're running around with 2-3 boats.
Sweet.
And, but really, really good, steady fishing. With windy, if you pick your days and your time to come down, there's no problem because you can get a 2-3 day break in the wind.
And the forecast on windy 7 days out. If you wanted to buy a plane ticket and come down, is that good? You think?
Oh yeah, because Valaris, if you fly out of Tijuana, which is convenient for the people in San Diego.
Sure.
But, really, really easy.
And reasonable.
So, and mostly, ballyhoo, the sardina's kind of back down. And the fish are biting on the small bonita.
Nice.
All right, good info, Mark.
Catch the small bonita. That's great.
That's
Hey,
great.
I want to thank you guys. I got my new Costas.
Great.
All right.
They're pretty awesome.
Nothing
You
like
know,
a pair
so
of
I wanna
Costas
thank
for
you
sure.
for the-
And you need them down in Los Barillas too. There's no doubt about that. Hey, Mark, nice to hear from you. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way, including we're going to be checking in with catch reports. We got a lot more info, a lot more of your phone calls. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the Sports Grid Radio Network.
I've had the opportunity to fish many places in many different types of water, but never have I fished a place as much fun as Katmai Lodge in Alaska. Hello, my name is Harold Davis, typically fishing in the ocean, but this is an experience that you have to try for yourself. Fish natural rivers with tens of thousands of fish coming up. And they have all the gear: spinning, bait casting, fly rods, kings, silvers, pinks, sockeyes, and my favorite, the chums. Outstanding food, outstanding accommodations, great service. The lodge is located in the beautiful Katmai National Park, filled with amazing wildlife. Brown bears, moose, eagles, otters, and it has spectacular scenery. And also the fact that the lodge is located right on the Alagnak River and your boat is just steps away from your room makes it great. Do yourself a favor. Call Charmel at 1-800-330-0326 or go online, katmai.com. And like Pete says, they will hook you up.
The best just got better. Shimano is proud to introduce the all-new Talica 20A and 25A reels. The Talica series is Shimano's flagship two-speed lever drag reel. It sits at the very pinnacle of the offshore world. The Shimano's Talica success is driven by its durability and spec attributes, allowing the series to differentiate from other lever drag reels within the market. The Talica is built around a cold-forged machined aluminum one-piece frame. The all-new Talica 20A and 25A now boasts Infinity Drive. Infinity Drive employs 2 drag washers housed in the side of the reel, allowing for an ultra-smooth, powerful drag system, while at the same time increasing winding power under a load as much as 40%. There's also a new lower low gear. If your utmost concern is performance without compromise, Talica 20A and 25A are the reels for you. Available now at your local Shimano dealer.
Sports Grid Radio Network is the premier audio streaming channel dedicated to serving the massive sports wagering and fantasy audience. Found on the Sports Grid app and SiriusXM. Sports Grid's real-time data transforms viewers into informed sports enthusiasts. Get the best in-game live coverage during all the games, as well as the most in-depth pre-game previews from hosts like Scott Farrell,
Hey, Pete.
Rightside, Ben Stevens, Gabe Moritzi, and many more. To find out where you can listen to Sports Grid, go to sportsgridradio.com. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Hey, so Mark is calling in from the private fishing report?
Yes.
That's where Seagar Gold Label leader material shines. It's Seagar's thinnest leader material yet. That means it's...
Whoops, sorry about that. Can you hear me now, Pete?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, with the commercials, it was tough to hear you, so I put you on hold. So Mark just called in from the private fishing report. He said he might have lost track of time, but he's here on hold now.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Is right in your neighborhood now with stores throughout Southern, Central, and Northern California. No one does it better. Turner's Outdoorsman brings you the best prices and selection, plus a knowledgeable staff that will help make your day on the water or in the field more fun. Stop by your neighborhood Turner's Outdoorsman. To find a location nearest you, check the web.
And we are coming back.
And sign up for special deals and more.
Now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. Get ready for more of the best fishing information and the hottest tips on improving your angling skills. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And now, Southern California's sports fishing voice, the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Welcome back. Hour number 2. Let's Talk Hookup right here on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Sports Grid Radio Network, YouTube and Facebook Live. Pete Gray here along with Rock Cod Rick Maxa in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup right next to the San Diego landings in Point Loma. Benny Florentino from Coastal Charters is here talking Shimano gear, talking bass fishing, yellowtail fishing, AFCO gear, a whole lot more. And boy, Benny brought a great prize, right, Ricky?
Oh, you're not kidding, man. How cool is this? One lucky caller or texter at the end of today's show is going to win a brand new Terramar 80M8 rod. That is my favorite Terramar that's ever been made. It's an awesome all-around rod. It's a, as Benny was saying, it's a staple on all of these coastal charter trips. And yeah, so stoked to get to be a part of today's show, and so generous of Benny and Shimano for making that happen. Really cool prize.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's find out what's biting out there.
You got it, man. It's time for our Catch Report. Today, our Catch Report is sponsored by Gamakatsu. They're not just all about hooks. There is so much more, including the brand new Gamakatsu fillet knives. Once you've tried one, you'll be hooked and you'll want all of them. Their new tools are also very special, including those Gamakatsu braid scissors that feature a ceramic blades, so they'll never rust. See them at your local tackle store or check gamakatsu.com. And we've got him, the private boater buddy, fishdope.com reporter, Captain Mark Wish of Pacific Edge is on the line. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, good morning, Ricky. Good morning, Pete, Benny. Great show, like always, man. I just love listening to you guys talking all this bass fishing stuff.
Thanks, fun, buddy.
We're going to do a slightly different report because of what you guys are talking about. This bass fishing will fit right into it. But, it's definitely winter. Out here on my balcony, it's 42 degrees right now. It's foggy. It's wintertime stuff. I'm a summertime guy, I got to tell you. But it is flat calm, so if you're planning on heading out, it's pretty nice conditions in terms of the water right now. But that water's chilly, man. It's down in the 50s. It's stable, though, and it's clean. So those are important things. But for some reason, even with these nicer conditions, just like you guys were talking, that daytime bass fishing, it's really tough. It's just really tough just about everywhere, local and at the islands. But for you guys that are more adventurous, you more hardy, savvy anglers, there's a whole other aspect of bass fishing that's largely ignored nowadays. It used to be super popular, but you just don't hear much about it anymore, and that's fishing nighttime bass on live squid, of which over the years I've done plenty. Now, my first hint of that fishery, because it wasn't talked about much, but my first hint came from running into a guy that I fished with, and they had just come in from fishing. This was many years ago, and they had 2 big barrels of calico bass iced down on the back deck of the boat that I'm guessing were probably going to the market, but don't know that for sure. But Duke didn't want to talk about it much, but, you know, I did fish with him. He's kind of a good friend. And I finally got the story twisted out of him about fishing nighttime bass, anchored up on deep structure on live squid and a leadhead. So once I got the story out of him and got it all figured out, I got to tell you, we caught a lot of big bass during the night. And most of it was at this time of year, all through the winter when the bass fishing daytime, you know, you fish some of the spots that at Catalina at this time of year, and, you know, you can't hardly buy a 6-incher. And yet that same spot at night with live squid, it's a whole different thing. It's like 3 to 5 pounders. Game on. So the basic clue is to figure out where you want to fish. And I've caught them front side and back side. Not a whole lot of difference between the two. Got to have some current. You want to get anchored up 12 to 20 fathoms. This is not fishing the kelp line. This is fishing deeper structure. Start a chum line of squid, chopping and chumming. Keep it going over the side. Get everybody fired up just like happens during the daytime. And then you're fishing a squid on a like 3/4 to 1 ounce lead head. And most of my time was spent fishing it at Catalina, fishing spots like Eagle Reef and Johnson's Rock on the front sides there, and then Pedestal Rock, Sentinel Rock, Suicide Rock on the back side. Those were all good nighttime spots. And, you know, it's not for everybody, and I got to tell you, it's a little chilly sometimes. I mean, we were fishing Eagle Reef one time, and it felt like we were knocking the ice off the guide's rod. It was freezing, but those bass were biting. And along with the bass, you do hook some really big sea bass at night, especially around the back there. So you want to be fishing heavy gear for sure. But, you know, the way conditions are this year, I mean, there is squid everywhere, scattered all up and down the coast, squid at all the islands. It bodes really well for the season, and there's not a lot of game fish on it yet that we know of, but, you know, it's early. And we'll be seeing what happens there. And as far as the rest of the report, there's just not a heck of a lot to report. Got virtually nothing from the guys that I normally talk to, just not that many people fishing. And that time of year, time to start planning for Christmas and the next season, which is coming up soon.
Man, what a great way to fill in slow reports, though, Mark. That was some awesome tip, and you know, a good way if a guy wants to really try to single out a trophy. Put on an extra AFCO bib and jacket and get to work, man. What a cool one. I dig it, Mark. I thought that was a great one.
You know, it's something that you just don't hear of anymore. I mean, there used to be, I don't know if you remember John Dipley. He was a special kind of party boat captain, and he ran, I believe it was the Freedom. And they ran trips to the west end of Clemente. They'd fish nighttime bass, and then when it'd get daylight, they'd go out and fish cods and come home early to get ready to go again. And, man, they murdered the calico bass. And yet, daytime, you set up on those same spots, you can't hardly catch anything. So it's just a different deal. The old, I don't know if you remember, Ricky, but a green bomber, a little green lead head with little green filaments coming out of it, that was the lead head of choice back in the day, a green bomber and a live squid. Man, that was money.
I think that's before me. I don't know the green bomber, but I want to now. That's cool.
I know it.
Benny knows it.
I know it very, very well. And also Papa Ted's little pounded out sinker that he painted, you know, green and yellow and a big Siwash hook on it. And you just put a gob of squid on it and fish that front end from White Rock to, you know, Gold Bluff on all the structure spots for bass and yellows. Phenomenal.
Crazy.
This reminds me of like the Chris Barrick and Jimmy Edward, you know, like the that was their
old
gig.
school stuff.
Hardcore nighttime fish the structure.
Jig and pig at night.
Those guys crushed them, and I don't think anybody has done that since then.
Yeah.
And they caught a lot of big ones. Like,
but
it takes a level of being hardcore. You gotta earn those. Those ones are all earned.
Chris invited me several times on that nighttime bass thing. I was like, pass. Sounds like really a lot of fun, Chris, but I'm gonna pass.
It's very cool when you're scrolling through pictures of 7s and 8s and 9s.
Giants.
But you gotta those
you
are
gotta
all
pay the price.
Those were all earned. That's for sure.
Oh, no doubt about it. Well, of course, fishdope.com. Danny and the boys always have the current information. $30 off a new membership to fishdope.com using the code Hookup Now, lowercase, no space, Hookup Now, your $30 code. And Mark, how do we find you?
Well, P, we're in Huntington Beach. We're in the corner of Bolsa Chica and Edinger. And the phone number is store 714-840-4262. The website's PacificEdgeTackle.com. And I'm with you, Pete. I'm not too much into that nighttime stuff anymore. I like my warm couch nowadays.
Yeah.
What's Grossbeck's line?
Night times for vampires.
Yeah, night times for sleeping.
For sleep. Night times for sleeping, and fishing nighttime is for vampires.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
Yeah.
Great report, Mark. Always appreciate it, buddy. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay, you got it, guys. We'll see you.
Thanks, bro.
All right,
While we're
thanks.
waiting for Marcos from Seaforth, we had a great text come through from Rory. It says, Benny, what does your new Cayman skiff have in terms of fish storage, and what's the process if we went together and we were able to snag a yellowtail or two? That's from Rory in Lakeside.
Storage wise, it's great. I mean, frigid rigid cooler for drinks. It's got a front storage for sandwiches. I usually put a blue block in there to keep nice and cold. It holds 14 rods in the rod locker, 7 and 7 port and starboard. It's got 3, 6, 9, like 15 3700 Plano boxes.
Wow.
It's got a hook rack inside the console. You can hang your jackets or bibs or whatever. It's got a jump seat in the back. It's got a captain seat in the front. And as far as yellowtail, I come prepared for it. I'll bring extra ice, a kill bag, and I will bleed it. I will ikejime it, and then I'll throw it on ice, and I'll cut it like the best of them. You know, everything from the collars to bellies to loins for you.
That's badass,
Yep.
Benny. That's
so I really take
So you
care
put
of
it
it.
in a white bag.
I put in
Ice.
yes,
Yeah.
with ice. Yeah.
Now on the Camus, for somebody that may be interested in buying that boat from West Coast Marine, is there actual fish storage on that boat?
There is a fish hold, yes.
There is,
yeah.
yeah.
But I have to use it for tackle.
Yeah.
So that's why I bring the bag. And the bag
bag
fits-
is so great because you can clean it out and get it.
exactly.
Yeah, and it's
You got
get it
that
out of the
right.
way. It's
Oh, absolutely.
bags are the way to go.
And you can probably hold like 6 yellows in, 6 20-pound. That's 120 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You don't need any more than that.
No.
That
Yeah.
fish hold, I'm sure, is insulated and big, all those things. But man, how nice is it to just take your fish hold off of the boat and spray it out with a garden hose and not worry about everything else that
The
comes
best.
with it?
Yeah, the best.
Sure.
That's
Well, let's
cool.
jump back in the phones, Rick.
You got it. How about this time we talk to Alex? Alex is calling us from San Carlos this morning. Hey, Alex, welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. My question is really about surface siren for calicos and positioning. Are you trying to position yourself and kind of cast alongside the kelp, or do you want to face the kelp and cast towards like the edge of the kelp?
I like to cover as much area as I can on the leading edges of kelp. So if you ever look like, I don't know, if you use Google Earth and you see how kelp lines are set up, it looks like it comes out, it goes in. That's a good ambush point for fish. Also, if you have a mapping on your multifunction device or your fish finder, look at your underwater topography. If it comes out, then goes in like a elongated point, that's another area. But I try to make a long cast and try to cover as much area. I don't feel you get as much coverage if you're going at the kelp, unless you're about 20, 30, 40 yards away. But I think the longer that jig's in the water, you're able to get the little ones to come up and the big ones push the little guys out to try to eat it. You're going to get multiple bites. And then, fishing the outer edge, you might get a yellow or anything else like that.
There you go. Hey, thanks a lot for the call this morning. Steve in Fallbrook writes, good morning, guys. Benny, what are your opinions on the current bass length and bag limit? What's your takeaway from the 12 to the 14-inch bump? Do you feel that current management is appropriate?
Great question.
Good question.
I like that. I mean, 14, I wish they made a slot, maybe 14 to 17 or 14 to 18. I think the 14-inch is great. I could tell you one thing.
Has it improved your bass fishing?
Oh my gosh. Catching, summertime, you're catching a ton of 13 and 7/8 bass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a nice fish.
Oh, it's fun.
Nice fish. But you let them go and
a lot of my clients catch and release anyways. They want to keep
Yeah.
a couple illegals. That's fine. But, again, you catch like 100 plus in the summer of 13 plus inch fish. I like it. I like the fact that you see the growth, you see the numbers in the summer during spawn. I mean, Catalina, you see a cloud of like 12 to 14-inch fish just balled up behind the boat, you know. but I like the bag limits. I think a lot of even the party boats do a really good job of maintaining that. They don't catch and kill always.
And bass release so well.
Yeah, they do. They're pretty hardy.
They're
They're
tough.
pretty hardy. Yeah.
Definitely.
You talk about the sport boats being not necessarily all catch and kill. I always love anytime we get the opportunity to give an attaboy to the boys over at Dana Wharf Sport Fishing
100%.
for that release jackpot that they have. I think it's a monthly thing, and the biggest fish of the month wins some rad prize, but it has to be released. I just think those guys do such a rad job up there, and on a cool bass fishery to do it too.
Yeah, for sure. Well, a good question though. Thanks for asking. And yeah, I knew you are. I'm all for that 14-inch bass limit, but I agree with Benny that it would be nice to have a slot where you let those big ones go.
I agree.
Yeah,
all good. Hey, let's continue on with our catch report. Speaking of great fishing, and head on down to Seaforth. Talk to Marcos. Marcos from Seaforth Sport Fishing is on the line. Good morning, Marcos.
Good morning, guys. How's everyone doing today?
Doing great, buddy. Good morning.
Well, kind of the same report I gave last week here. Pretty good fishing all around there. The half-day trip, the new Seaforth. During the week, they've switched to that 8:30 departure, so we're doing that 8:30 to 2 trip, a nice mid-morning trip, so you have to get up early. Still very good bottom fishing on there.
Still doing half-day trips to Collinet?
Yeah, half-day trips to Collinet, correct. San Diego, still fishing for that yellowtail. A little tough for the last couple trips. They had 1 yesterday, 3 on Wednesday, but earlier in the week they had 14 one day. They had 17 the other day. So overall, 18 on one of those trips. Great fishing on the San Diego there. Check the website, seaportlanding.com. As far as schedule goes, we're definitely one of the slower parts of the season, but all the trips are doing well there. Full schedule online there, half days. Like I said, 8:30 departures during the week, still 6 and 12:30 departures on the weekend. San Diego running those 7 to 4 trips. Still pretty good fishing, some nice weather out there. And so definitely, like I said, check the website, give us a call at the office, 619-224-3383. And then check out, like I said, we've talked about before, the tributes going to be running some of those Collinet trips down the coast there. Those are also online. So wish I had a little more detailed report for you, but at least what we have is great fishing right now.
I was going to say, I'll say that was some very impressive scores. Seeing, exactly for the month and the time that we're in, we'll take that just fine, Marcos. Great fishing over at Seaforth. One more time, shoot us the number if somebody wants to come and join you.
619-224-3383. We're happy to help you out, get you on trip, and get you out there fishing.
Great job.
Matt Brala and Ryan Bastian on the San Diego catching those yellows midwinter. Big
rad.
grade yellows. That's like, what an opportunity.
And it looked like, I don't know, but it looked like most of them were fly line fish and surface iron fish and sunny, warm, big yellows.
Yeah.
Like just,
flat
that's so
calm
cool.
like it be today.
What a rad trip that is.
Yeah. Thanks, Marcos. Nice to hear from you, and we'll talk to you next Saturday.
Talk to you then, guys.
All right. Hey, that's going to wrap up our catch report today. Sponsored by the Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego, where you get a premier processing experience. Check out the easier online system to book your processing orders for your long-range trips. With more team members, Fisherman's Processing stays far ahead of the rest. More same-day capacity, the finest customer service. Stop by their location in Old Town on Taylor Street or check fishermansprocessing.com and be sure you make that reservation today.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, I want to mention tomorrow on Let's Talk Hookup, I'll be stepping out, but Rick, Corey, and Brandon will be triple co-hosting tomorrow.
The whole squad's in tomorrow.
The whole squad. You don't need a guest when those guys are all in here, because there'll be plenty to talk about.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's going to be cool. I'm sure they'll talk about bass. They'll probably talk about surface iron. They'll talk about tuna fishing. What else do you think?
Get Brandon and Corey wound up.
Oh boy.
And just watch to see what
watch
happens.
Out. Little freshwater fishing. Maybe.
Anything. Yeah, you name it. I mean, I know those guys are very comfortable on every subject that exists in the world of fishing. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, that's going to be 7 to 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, no plans. Just your phone calls and your text are going to dictate how the show goes. Whatever it is that you want to talk about, offshore, inshore, like you said, freshwater. Those guys are wild. It's just going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it's just like open phones, open texts, and 3 great guys in here to talk fishing with you.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
7 to 9 tomorrow morning right here on Let's Talk Hookup. You don't want to miss it. Be sure to tune in on the app.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. We got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup here, including a great text. This one is from Fountain Valley and Brian. It says, Benny, if you could only fish one size plastics for calico bass at the islands, what would it be? Size, color, style? That's from Brian in Fountain Valley.
A 5-inch MC, just his standard body in golden brown bait, orange belly, or red belly with a 1-ounce war bait Slayer head to match.
Just classic.
Just standard. Yeah, because you can fish the boilers, you can fish kelp edges, you can sink it, you can wind it fast. Very, very versatile. And I would definitely fish it on that Terramar 80 MH with a Tranx 300.
That thing get bite on the sink, get bite on the wine, slow hop it, speed it back to the boat, whatever.
Very versatile.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very versatile. You'll probably get a few bites.
I like it. I like it. Man, that makes me want to go.
Yeah, for sure. Let's jump back on the phones.
How about this time? We talked to Ed. Ed's calling us from University City this morning. Good morning, Ed. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, Ed.
Thanks, Ed.
Yeah, I got a question. I've been trying to find some kind of a local cookbook, so I can give for, holidays and that. And I was wondering if you guys could help me out on, do you know where I could pick something up that would mainly deal with the local fish?
I don't. I would maybe.
I don't have.
Maybe check Point Loma Seafood.
Yeah, they might have
those guys
something,
have some cool, that like back wall where they've got all that stuff. You might find something in that zone there, but I don't. I'm scratching my head on that one.
Either.
I wish I did, buddy.
Yeah, sorry about that, Ed. Thanks a lot for the call this morning. Hey, great text here, and this is so appropriate based because of what happened yesterday, and it's from Manny in San Diego. He says, "How do you adjust for fog and marine layer this time of the year?"
Dude.
Fog was so thick here yesterday, and where you were too, right?
Yeah, it was
Benny?
really, really thick.
Chainsaw to cut through this fog yesterday.
How do you adjust with the fog? Well, number one, you have to be safe. Number one. So I would just follow all the rules and regulations of navigation in the fog. Make sure you have a horn. Make sure you have radar.
Make sure you go out to breakfast and wait for it to burn off.
Yeah, and if you don't have any of those things, then I would definitely stay on the beach until either it clears or maybe do something else for the day. But
and very important, slow down.
Dude,
definitely
don't go fast.
Definitely.
in the fog.
So right.
Even with radar, even you just don't be stupid.
Safety first. Safety number one. Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Hope that helps you out.
All right. Hey, another great text. Says, hey, hope all is well, fellas. I'm taking my 10-year-old son to Cedros in July. I'm looking for the perfect rod and reel combination for him. What do you guys recommend? He wants to cast a little bit. That's all from Joey, looks like in the Los Angeles area.
Tranx 300A, Terramar 80 MH,
Yeah, totally.
65 Power Pro. And, he could probably get away with throwing a small surface iron like a I don't know, Kicker 15 or something smaller, Tatty C size. So he'd have to throw the full size, but even a jerk bait for yellows, a 140 size sniper, a current sniper, something small where he can cast and he can get his cast on. Swim bait, and still hook yellows and still catch bass.
This is Joey said his son is Malachi, and I believe that's the guy that is going to get to go to Cedros for them. The deal that Reggie put together when we had Rose and Jeff on. That's going to go down for his first trip to Cedros. So I think it'll be his first time going down there.
Yeah.
Malachi, you're going to love it. That's a very, very special place to get to go fishing.
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Take your Tranx and Terramar down
I would
there.
say just get some practice in casting, whether, at a pond or the beach or something, and just get your cast on.
I think you need two. There's two rods and reels that you need to have if he's going. And Benny said it best. Like you for sure could cast a smaller, like the Two Fish Jigs Mini or a smaller surface iron. You could for sure fish that, but with as crazy as the fishing is down there, and how much I'm sure he loves yellowtail fishing, you need a good surface iron casting outfit, and then also a good bass fishing outfit.
Yep.
And those are the two must-haves. Can you do them both with one? I'm sure kind of, but not really. On a trip like this, you need a dedicated surface iron outfit and a dedicated bass
What I
rig.
do with kids that young, I have a Tranx 400 HG that's rigged on an 8.5 foot rod, and you can pick your choice. And it's 65. It's big enough to handle up to 30+ pound yellows and tuna. And I have kids and people that aren't at depth that throwing a Tranx 500, and they're throwing full size surface irons, and it's dedicated for that surface iron fishing. It's just a smaller version, easier for them to manage. And then you have the Tranx 300 for your bass and everything else.
Yeah, for sure.
I like it.
Hey, Thanks a lot for the text. Let's jump back on the phones, Rick.
You got it. How about this time? We talked to Robert. He's calling us from Canyon Country this morning. Hey, Robert, welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Great show, guys, as always. I have a couple of grandsons. I was wondering about this coastal charters, what it cost, how many people you take. Could you go over a trip with you?
Yeah, I can take up to, if it's two young kids and 2 adults, I can do that. Or if it's 1 adult and 2 kids, I can do that. You can refer to my website at fishcoastalcharters.com, or you can call me directly at 310-779-0397. And we can talk about what your goal is with the kids. I mean, other than catching, if you want them to learn, you want to, whatever it may be. The boat's big enough. I have vests that fit the kids. That's a must.
That's a good call.
Before they get on the boat, they have to wear a vest to get on the boat.
By law.
16 and under. And I've had to turn away 1 adult and 1 child because the little boy did not want to wear it.
Really?
Just did not. So that's just, to me, safety's huge, just gigantic, especially with kids on the boat.
But the vests are comfortable. You have the modern style vests.
Oh, they're the Mustang AFCO. They look good. They won't even know they're there.
Yeah.
There's no yellow tag to pull. They hit the water, it blows up, and their head's out of the water. But with that said, I take my 2 grandsons out every summer. We have a blast. We go out fishing. I say maybe book a half day. It's like 4.5 hours. And if they want to stay longer, we could stay longer. Some kids are good. Some kids, if it's not really biting, but I'd say look at like July and August as your dates to if you want to get them out, because they'll do a lot of catching, because that's the goal.
Yeah.
Is to keep them busy catching and bring lots of snacks.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That's dope there.
Yeah. And Robert, I know you said you won a trip on the horizon when Bill Wilkerson was on, and you haven't received it yet. And I just want to say about prizes, sometimes we fulfill the prizes. Sometimes it's up to the individual that supplied the prizes to fulfill it. And we do the best we can to follow up, and we're certainly happy to follow up. But let me give you Bill Wilkerson's phone number, Robert, to have you call him directly and try and claim your prize, because I know it's been a while and you should get it. So Bill's number is 619-985-5179. 619-985-5179. Just give Bill a call. He's a great guy.
Totally.
And just tell him you won that trip on the horizon, and he'll take care of it.
He'll make it happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, in the meantime, I had another great text come through. It says, "Good morning, Captain Benny, Rick, and Pete. What a great show. Having so much fun. I fished on a Let's Talk Hookup trip that Captain Benny was the host. He was a fantastic host. My question is, what is your process for deciding where you go fish? Earlier in the show, you talked about sometimes your guests leave it up to you. With your Go Fast boat and how central you seem to be, the options seem endless. Thanks for that, John in Huntington Beach."
Yeah, John, thanks. God, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
What determines is what's going on. I've been known to go from Newport to Santa Monica in a day, chasing my tail. I should have zigged when I should have zagged, but I try to, and depending on the trip, if it's a half-day trip, boy, I try to just minimize any running around and get right to the spot and go catching. But it all depends what's going on. This time of year, man, I don't travel too far. I try to find structure, and I try to eliminate water as fast as I can. Summertime, it's pretty easy. They kind of bite everywhere. Sometimes you're in one spot pretty much all day, or one area. It can get redundant, but you're catching. So that's what it depends on. It really depends on time of year, what's going on, and what's best for you.
There you go.
Great
Call
info.
up Benny.
Yeah.
Go out fishing.
No
You'll
doubt
have
about
fun.
that. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more coming your way, including more of your phone calls and more great info like that. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the Sports Grid Radio Network. Everyone has their go-to fishing spot. My spot is Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. Rockcod Rick here to say if you're looking for the ultimate Alaska experience and the best value in Alaska.
Hey guys, just want to let you know, right before you threw to break, we got Matt from Redondo Beach calling in. Can you hear me?
Say that one more time.
Oh, okay. Right before you guys threw to break, we had Matt from Redondo Beach call in on the VIP line.
Oh, great. Okay.
So I'll put it in. I'll put it in the notes and everything. But I just wanted to let you know since we're in break anyway.
No, that's great.
Figured I'd tell you.
We'll bring him up as soon as we come back. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Thanks, buddy. Pete just stepped out.
Trip to Kingfisher Charters, and you'll thank me. Kingfisher Charters, 800-727-6136, or check kingfishercharters.com.
Captain Jamie Tennis from Season Sport Fishing here. For the past few seasons, a dart-style metal jig has come into play in a big way for tuna offshore or even rockfish down deep. AFCO's crossbreed jig has quickly become the go-to for many since it came onto the market. AFCO's crossbreed jig is good to go right out of the package with a 4X treble hook, heavy-duty split rings, West Coast colors, and sizes 60 gram to 120 gram. Pick one up today at your local tackle store or learn more on AFCO.com.
Inside information is everything when it comes to catching fish in Southern California. You need a code group to connect with what's happening on the water. FishDope.com is your code group. Inside information available at your fingertips 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane, along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. They become your code group. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Catine, 365 days a year. FishDope.com has online planning tools, temperature and chlorophyll charts, hot bite icons, and more. Take it from me, if you don't have FishDope.com, you're not part of the in-the-know crowd. Membership is affordable and good for an entire year. Plus, use the special code and save $30 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
Great fishing is what Seaforth Sports Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limits, Elgato Doe, Pride, Polaris Supreme, Tribute, Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth Sea Watch in San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing for charters.
Hey guys, coming back. Stand by.
Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Man, the show is just flying by, but so much fun and still plenty of time to get you through. We've got a half hour of nothing but your phone calls, your text messages. If you want to get through, it's 213-432-1090. That's how you reach us on the phones, or keep the text rolling through on the Let's Talk Hookup app. Not only your chance to talk to Benny Florentino, but also a chance to win a brand new Terramar 80MH rod.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of people watching us on Facebook and YouTube Live. It's because Benny's so good looking. Yeah, that's why, right? Hey, that's why. But anyway, of course, you can hear us on our Let's Talk Hookup app, or hear archives of this show. If you missed part of it, just go to the Let's Talk Hookup app and listen to the replay.
Yeah. You know, we were actually listening to Danny Wade last week on our way to Clementi, on the West End.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's why we got to catch most of the show.
Listening on the app?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there you go.
It's great.
Yeah, for sure. It's super. And I have a great text here. Actually, we have a special caller on the line. Before I read that text, right?
Yeah, we got Matt of Salty Crew. I almost slipped up there. Who knows Benny pretty well, I'd say. What's up, Matt?
Morning, guys. How's it going?
What's up, buddy?
Benny's son.
Yep, Matt Florentino. Good morning, Matt.
Morning. Hey, so I knew my dad was on the show today. So make my coffee. I'm actually making some jigs. So probably not catch some fish because it's been really slow for me at night, and like you guys been talking about. But Mark's call kind of got me. You know, he hit two things probably that I love, especially with bass fishing. Nighttime fishing, that's my gig. But number two, like the old school bomber, you know, those bucktails, kind of all that. You know, my dad's been doing this for a long time, and I always I'm a big, and I'd say student of the game, so to speak. But what are some of those old school baits? You know, there's those bucktails, there's, you know, obviously the scampies, gosh, you name it. Something, you know, from the sport boat days or the early party, you know,
great question.
Days. Kind of what are some baits that he may have fished, done really well with? We may not be fishing anymore, but, you know, may come into play. Things kind of reintroduce themselves.
Well, yeah. I you know, that's a great question, and I'm sure if we dig into my garage in a couple of weeks. We can find some buried treasure. But I tell you, one is the bucktail. I think that bucktail, the bombers, guys were making their own, were pretty good. Also, the lobster imitations with a big, like, old bullet head used to be pretty good. The guys that were real savvy about fishing nighttime were fishing the small lobster baits. Like Turner and those guys, they used to make their own little lobster baits and fish structure at night in the wintertime, or even at Clemente in the boilers, because they, lobster's so prevalent this time of year. That guys, nowadays everything's fast. Everything's, chuck and wind, fast, cover. I think they just need to slow down more. That's why I like fishing the swim jig a lot, because I can slow down, cover a lot of area, cover every part of the water column. But man, there's so many back in the day, pig and jig, a lot of that good stuff that was back in the day.
I remember my dad used to love fishing those Magombo grubs, like the double XL big grubs. Like that was always his game, like a fall lure that was big and slow.
Yeah. I just think that, back in the day, they didn't have much. They thought of, big shrimp and lobster and crab. And, summertime, it was about things that looked natural, like mackerel, sardine, anchovy. So you saw that kind of go from season to season. So, but they're pretty, ingenious when it came to that, because they didn't have the resources as everybody has now. I mean, everybody's a bait maker now. You can go and make your own bait and, kind of pick and choose from every different bait maker out there.
Yeah, we're looking at you here on the Bill Varney calendar, the December cover boy, with that great swimmer jig there. That's a nice cabrilla.
I was going to say there were two things that I wanted to say before we ended the call with Matt. One, I want to get some Baja stories out of the two of both of you guys, because I know that's a passion lives in both of you is fishing those cabrillas. And the second is, Matt is the epitome of there is no excuse for saying you don't have time to go fishing. And I just think it's so rad. And being a new dad, like I get saying it, like, man, it's tough. There's no time. And I know Matt will take care of the family to the T. And then when everybody goes to bed, then he gets his gear on and goes paddle out all night long and go fishing. And I think you are such a badass for that, dude. It's really, really cool.
I appreciate it, Ricky. Yeah, I mean, man, like, full-time work and then two boys, it's full speed. And, I'm in our group text chat, with our crew, and I get the reports. My dad's out there 3-4 times a week.
Yeah, totally.
Guys, the matros. I live vicariously through the Clemente trips, but also I love just adding some juice to the mix. And I'm just lurking around at night, in some sneaky spots.
I love it
in the backyard.
That's cool.
So, yeah, man, I get a kick out of that. So, and then Baja, dude. So that photo, I think that was almost, about a year ago, exactly. No, it's January last year. We like going in the wintertime, kind of when things slow down here, you could run down to your Cortez, even Pacific side really, and find some good fishing, and the weather's actually decent. But dude, I had samples of that swimmer that I had when I was fishing it a bunch. And then I made a bomber run. My buddies, Randy and Skylar from Kicker, I think they did like a 17-day stint of just basically.
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
Single guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. I can't do that, but hey, I got a 4-day window for air quotes photo shoot. So I ran down with my buddy Ben, and then we had there's always wind down there, but we had a window to run down to the island, Isla LaGuardia, on that northern tip. Oh geez, they had it wired, so they'd been fishing it. We hit an area they called Golden Road. I think we got 4 Goldens out of there. I got
Cabrilla.
Cabrilla. Was it 22? It's over 20.
Oh my gosh!
15,
Wow.
18s.
And those things pull so hard, right?
If you like the bass fish, if you like the bass fish,
on steroids. And that AFCO swimmer, man, that thing catches yellows, it catches bass, it catches everything.
But it's made as if it was made though for that cabrilla fishing. Fast, shallow, stays up high. You can burn it through them and it stays in the water real good.
Great components.
God.
Yeah, when Robbie designed that was the goal. Like, hey, it's very reminiscent of a waxwing.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have any of the fail points of a waxwing. No wings to break and what have you. And it's just built burly, big, heavy. You could chuck it with a service iron setup. or a smaller bass setup. But especially down there for Baja, everything's overbuilt, and you just fish that thing as fast as you can. And we caught on a little deal. We fish wire down there just because sometimes you get rocked and you just want a chance. And I fish sometimes the tag end. I fish that titanium wire, and I'll get a little small piece of the tag end. It'll kind of catch. What was happening was my bait was fouling from the wire, and I was just almost like skip jig style. I was like, oh shoot, I'd wind it as fast as I can back to the boat, but they started smoking it like
on skipping.
Oh, that's so rad.
Basically skip jig. And so, after the third or fourth time, I'm like, okay, these aren't accidents. So we all started doing it, rod tip up and burn them as fast as you can. And we were getting smaller fish initially. All of a sudden, it just activated some bigger fish. So there's little triggers, and every time we go down there, we learn something.
That's so cool.
We take the calico approach, but there's little things just because they're a grouper that you can, enlist into your artillery, so to speak, and get creative. So fun, and I'm itching to go back down there.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'll bet. Hey, how's the new gig with Salty Crew?
Oh, dude, it's so fun. I had such a good run at AFCO, almost just shy of 12 years. Had an opportunity to go to Salty Crew and work with Jared and Hayden. The whole crew. It's been a really good time. Ultimately, it's just for me, it's fun to get in the mix with the surf industry and action sports. It's still fish, but also another side, a bigger, broader side of just the apparel business. We do some really fun things, man. Like we just did a Tatty drop. So we did a limited run of some surface iron jigs, a sink or swim jig set. We did the diesel green, kind of that OG throwback.
Yeah.
Little really limited drop a while back. We redid it, but working with Joey at Tatty, we found that if you take their standard mint and then hit it with that diesel green, you get this really bitchin', we call it winter green. Dwayne wanted to put a black tail. I know a guy who likes black tail.
Yeah, I was gonna say
came out with
black tails don't work.
It's really killer satin matte finish, which was pretty unique. And it's a really cool box, and just kind of has that perfect for a gift for holidays.
Yeah,
for yourself. I say grab two, one for you got a really good buddy, and one for yourself.
And last run you did, they sold out instantly. Where can you find those?
Yeah, at the moment, I think we have a few left. I know we were getting low, but you could get them on salty-crew.com.
Okay.
It's kind of one of those things, though. You kind of got to get them when they're there, and then keep your eyes out going forward if you do any of those limited drops with Tatty. It's been a really cool little project with Joey.
Anytime they do that fun stuff like that, you better be Johnny on the spot because it goes so fast. But that's why it's a limited thing. It's the last jigs it went, these jigs, the Padre stuff, anything that's like a unique, cool thing like that. If you get the word, jump on it right now, and they're really cool.
One other cool little apparel piece that's available right now is the Fisherman's Landing tee. We brought them to Tackle Day. I know Ricky and the boys have them in the shop. That one's probably one of my favorite little ones too. Just growing up as a kid, you go down to Fisherman's Landing, you see the big old sign. It was just kind of, for me, that was always just like, I'm a kid from LA, so you always see Fisherman's Landing. You get to go there, you see the sign. But that T-shirt has that original Fisherman's Landing art on it.
That's cool. I wonder where that sign is.
We're super proud of that thing. The sign got bought by a company that does movie props, and so a guy owns it somewhere. Wow. So it's like in the it's probably like somewhere like Nevada, where it doesn't rain and it doesn't rust, and he buys signs. So one of these days we're all going to be watching some Netflix movie, and we're gonna see a variation of that sign somewhere, but. We're super proud of that shirt. It's a really cool Salty shirt. It's the old neon Marlin sign. Yep. Yeah, it's really, really, really rad. Very
classic
cool one.
Stuff. Well, hey, Matt, great to hear from you. Keep up the good work, and good for you for getting out there after the kids go to bed.
That's so rad. See you, Matt.
That's awesome, man. Thanks for the call.
Tonight. See you guys.
All right, thanks.
See you, Matthew.
Hey, Matt in Yorba Linda writes, what is the percentage of calico bass that are kept opposed to release on your boat?
I'd say 90%. That's
90% release.
Released, yeah. Every now and then you'll guys will want to keep a limit or a couple for tacos. I'm good with that.
I love your attitude towards that.
Anything over 3 pounds, we release. That's just my rule on the boat. If you want to keep more, you only can keep 5. I don't count. I don't do crew limits. So I don't have a problem with it. I'll process them, put them in a nice bag, and we'll take all. If you want to release them, you catch a good one, we'll take all the photos you want. I'll make you a hero on Instagram on my page for sure. I take pride in just, honoring my guests that come out and get trophies. But yeah, I don't have a problem with it. You have every right to, if you own a license, to take whatever you want, don't keep sharks, because I don't like sticking my hands down their mouth. And we don't fish for 100+ pound tuna. They hurt too much.
I love it. I love it.
That's cool. You have a good one there?
I do. It's from John in Mira Mesa. He says, my question is, do you pay attention to tides when you're outside the bay? Do tide swings play a part in your offshore and islands program, and how important are they when you are fishing in the harbor?
That's a great question, because I continually look at my tide chart, because there's certain areas that fish really well at high tide. I can fish shallow in some areas, and there's some areas that fish really well at low tide. My thinking is the fish come up shallow at high tide and kind of work off the bank as the tide recedes. And then there'll be fish set up on the outside, depending on where the bait, the current, et cetera, is. So yeah, tide does make a difference on when and where I'm going to fish.
There you go. Well, let's jump back on the phones, Rick.
You got it. How about we talk to Hills? Hills is calling us from Ventura this morning. Good morning, Hills. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. My buddy Chav and I got to fish with Benny, and we had such a blast. And my question for Benny is, I'd really like to release fish. It just feels good. And if you have any tricks for releasing, if you get a big knothead under the boat, can you throw some baits off to the side and then release a bass on the other side? Because man, they are so hard. They're so hard to get away from.
A lot of times, if there's a seal around, and because we've seen that happen at Clemente a lot, you'll have 4 or 5 pounders, and he'll eat one and he'll stand around. A lot of times, we'll just throw it in the tank hills, keep them alive until we work up the beach, or just get away from the seal and let them go up the beach. That's the only way. Otherwise, they think you're feeding them and they will not leave, and you kind of have to run away from them pretty far to release your fish.
And they're just too good at getting them. You do everything you can, try to give it a head start, and chuck the thing one way. They're just too good.
They sit under the boat just you don't even see them, and then all of a sudden you throw it in there. It's in their mouth.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
they are.
So you gotta put them in the bait tank, get away, and
I have there's a great 35. There's 70 gallons worth of live well on that Camus, so we can fit. Biggest fish we fit in there's 8 pounder in there, and he was happy. He was so happy.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool. So brings in regulations. If you put a sub 14-inch bass in your bait tank just so you could release him, are you in violation?
Yes, you're in possession of a short bass.
So I just want to throw that out there. Not that wouldn't do it, but it's be cautious when you do that. And I don't know that the officer would be sympathetic with, well, I'm just trying to not feed it to the sea lion. I don't know whether they'd buy that story.
Yeah, possession is possession.
Possession is possession.
I'm with you.
And they're just doing their job.
They're just doing their thing. Yeah,
for sure.
And another great text come through is from Chris. Says, Benny, what is your favorite way to target extra large calico bass? Is it surface iron? Is it swim baits? Is it a big live bait? How do we catch a big one from Chris in San Marcos?
Luck number one. So Chris, San Marcos. Chris, here's the thing. I've had 4 clients catch 10s to
10 pounders.
Wow.
10 pounders,
Really?
right? None of them, all the baits were on 5.5-inch swim baits.
Wow.
Okay. One was on a 5-inch weedless. The other one was a swim jig, 5-inch. The other one was on a 5-inch swim bait, 5.5-inch swim bait. Three of them were coastal.
Coastal.
One was at Clemente, and I've caught 2 over 10. One on the beach on a surface iron, one at Clemente on a surface iron.
Wow.
So to catch a target, you have to put yourself in position. Got to keep casting. You got to, there's a lot of little ones here, but you know what? The big ones are always around the little ones. Fish a little bit, maybe instead of a 4-inch bait, maybe go to a 5 or 6 and just work through the little ones. I don't know. My guys were lucky. That's all I got to say is that luck is huge. I haven't seen anything over 8 this year, so I don't know.
And at 10 is not a 10 until it's on a scale.
You got
What
that
did Benny
right.
Seacrest says? Don't weigh it, don't say
Yeah,
it.
totally.
Honestly, and I have a certified Boga grip and a digital scale just to,
Just for that reason.
yeah, just to verify.
What's the biggest one you've had on your boat?
On any of my boats was 10.8.
10.8.
Wow,
That's
that's
a giant
amazing.
calico.
Yeah, that's a fish
that
of a
fish is
lifetime.
like 30, 40, 50 years
He's probably
old.
close to 40 years old.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Crazy.
They don't grow on trees, man. I
That's
mean,
it.
a 5-pounder is a good one.
Yeah.
You know, 5
And that
pounders
fish
a
is
good,
probably 15, 20
yeah,
years old.
it's a
right?
good one.
Yeah.
That's what makes those big ones so special too.
Yep.
And exactly like you say, that there is a reason. It's not a 10-pounder unless it's weighed, because that just cheapens all of the ones that really are. There's nothing wrong with a 9-pounder. That is a lifetime amazing fish.
Yeah, I had a guy had one like over 7, and he goes, "Oh my gosh, that thing's over 10." I go, "Well, you know, I've seen a few," so I go, "Let's put on the scale and see." He was so bummed. The thing was like 7.6. He was so bummed. I go, "Dude,
that's a
a
great
giant
fish."
Is that your P?" He goes, "Oh yeah, but I thought it would." I go, 7.6 is a good fish.
It's a huge one.
Local. This was local.
Yeah, that's a huge one.
That's pretty amazing.
So-
Hey, Mike in Corona says, a silver scampi was a hot bait when it came out in the late 70s.
There you go.
Remember
I
those?
like that.
No
The
doubt.
silver scampi.
Silver scampi, yeah.
I mean, they're still pretty hot.
I like motor oil.
I
Motor oil
love.
is right.
I immediately flashbacked. I love that question method. The two things that immediately popped in my mind were calico bass fishing. My old man loved fishing magombos, and then in the bay we fished like those spade tails on a scrounger head. You know, like a motor oil spade tail scrounger was like our bay bass. Our bay bass killer. That old stuff's pretty darn fun, man.
Yeah,
that's cool. Hey, why don't we jump back into the phones and this time talk to Mike? He's calling us from Torrance this morning. Hey, Mike, welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, boys. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
I want to thank you very much, and I want to thank you, and I want to thank Scott from the Condor and Joel for providing me a day-and-a-half trip last week. That was super nice. I want to shout out to the Pescador. I went out there last week, deep water cod fishing with Ryan and David Choate, the cook. And we did real good on big reds out by Santa Barbara Island. And some kid caught like close to a 30-pound ling cod.
Wow.
So Pescador and Redondo has a good operation going there. And I just wanted to say happy holidays to you guys. Thank you very much.
All
what a
right,
great
that's a
call,
nice
Mike.
call,
Yeah,
Mike. Thanks a
congrats
lot
on
for
the
call.
trip, man.
David Choate, the cook?
Yeah, how cool is that?
Really? I'll be darned.
Pick a few little info nuggets while you're waiting for a killer burger or something like that.
For
Yeah,
sure.
take that
for
on. That's
sure.
awesome.
Hey, Rich in Oceanside sent a little lengthy text, but I'm going to read it because it's a good one. Good morning, gents. Great show. Just want to express my gratitude to Benny. He donated a trip to Friends of Rollo, a.k.a. Captain Rollo's Kids at Sea. I was high up on the winners list and had a choice of numerous long-range trips, El Salto, etc. My wife and I chose to fish with Benny. I was starstruck and amazed at how cordial and awesome and patient he was. We ended up fishing Catalina for 8 hours. We caught way too many bass, had a great time, and truly enjoyed ourselves. Again, just want to express my gratitude for his donating that trip and Friends of Rollo for the generous, kind personality. And yes, Benny, you have been super generous to Captain Rollo's Kids at Sea and other organizations, to CCA California, the whole thing, with donating your time and your expenses on that stuff. And it's pretty cool that he passed up a lot of good stuff to go fishing with Benny. And I totally get it, man. I'd be on the same boat.
We had such a fun. They're such a great couple, and you know, I tell you, I'm so lucky. You know, I don't know how much longer I can do this, but I get to share the water in that time, you know, with somebody on a 26-foot boat all day. And sometimes I'm just so lucky to hang out with some of the best people. I know that they do a lot for donation for, you know, for raffles and auctions and all that. So, but thank you.
It's awesome.
Let's do it again. You guys are great.
Yeah, go. And how do we, if he wants to do it again, or anybody that wants to go fishing with it, how do we do it?
They can do it a number of ways. They could DM me on Instagram, coastal_charters. They can go to my phone number, 310-779-0397. And they can go to the website and send a message at fishcoastalcharters.com.
Cool.
I dig it. Hey, when we come back, we're going to find out who's got themselves a brand new fishing rod, a new Terramar 80 medium heavy, going to one lucky caller or texter. When we come back, it's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the Sports Grid Radio Network.
That couple pays for a lot.
long-range fishing, nothing beats Shimano. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. Come check out the Shimano Talica, the pinnacle of lever drag 2-speed reels. The Talica features Shimano's Hagani body. When throwing jigs, the Shimano Trinidad is your top choice. With the extreme cranking power and Shimano's Super Free Spool provides extreme castability.
Danny?
You'll be able to put your jig in the Wahoo zone. For all your Shimano needs, visit.
Hey, Pete.
You have you want to pick a winner for us out of the phone calls?
Sure, I've been saving all of them because JP told me to. So I actually have an email with all of them. So just
go ahead
just
and put
look
it
at that
right
list
up
and
on the list there.
Oh, you want me to copy and paste? Oh, you want me to put the winner up on the list?
Yeah, pick one. It's your
Okay.
choice.
Okay. No pressure or anything, right? I'm gonna go with. I think he was a
You're
newer
live,
caller,
just to let you
Mike.
know. You're live on Facebook right now with your voice. So.
Oh, I am. Oh, okay.
So go ahead and put one up.
All right, I put it. Yeah, I just did. It was a newer caller, and I thought he had a good call.
Throw up a phone number there for us. And great. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
One minute. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. They are home to LA's finest open party fleet, including overnight on the Freedom, Catalina Freelance on the Pursuit, half-day trips on the Monte Carlo, and three-quarter-day trips on the Sea Angler. For your own private charter, we have the Outrider and Trueline available. There's always plenty of free parking and a fully stocked tackle store. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. Call 310-832-8304 or on the web at 22ndstreet.com.
Hey, San Diego, the Ford Get Holiday Ready sales event is going on now at your San Diego County Ford dealers. The biggest deals of the year to finish 2024, featuring America's best-selling truck, Ford F-Series, leading for 47 straight years. Or check out the full lineup of versatile Ford SUVs, including Bronco or Bronco Sport. Don't wait. Come take a test drive today. Get holiday ready only at your local San Diego
Hey, guys, coming back.
dealers. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time. Okay, it is time to find out who's got themselves a brand new Terramar rod. Benny's going to do us the honor flipping that prize coin. And today we have a caller. Congratulations, Mike in Rosemead. You've got yourself a brand new Terramar medium heavy rod going to you directly from Shimano. You are so stoked.
Yeah, congratulations, and that'll get shipped right directly from Shimano for
That's
you.
it.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks, Benny, for doing that. Such a great show, and lots of people really enjoyed the show today. And I know if you missed a part of it, go back and listen to it on the Let's Talk Hookup app. Adam will have the archives up there very, very shortly. So again, somebody wants to go fishing with you. How do we do it?
FishCoastalCharters.com is my website. 310-779-0397. And of course, Instagram at coastal_charters, and follow along. I need a few more likes to get over 10,000. So.
Hey.
Yeah.
Let's get them there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Big time. So fishcoastalcharters.com.
Yeah, that's my website. And then Instagram is coastal_charters.
Okay, coastal_charters. All right, Benny. Such a great and you do half day, three-quarter day, full day trips.
Yep.
Whatever. You'll custom design one
custom
for
design.
kids.
Kids. Yep.
All the Shimano gears provided.
Casting.
All the AFCO clothing.
Yep.
Foul
Keep
weather
them nice
gear.
and dry. Yep. We'll drink them, and all you have to do is bring a lunch and snack, and that's about it.
And you provide everything else.
Yeah, I try to provide biting fish.
To buy yeah. Can you work that out?
Oh, well, I'll do my best.
Yeah. And with or without bananas.
That's it. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for having me. It was a great
Benny,
time.
Always a pleasure. Yeah, and happy holidays to you.
Thank you
Appreciate
to you
that.
guys too.
I have to say a very quick good morning to Wyatt, too.
Yeah,
Morning-
hi,
good
Wyatt.
Good morning, buddy.
Hi, Wyatt. Watching us on,
On
YouTube
Facebook
and
Live.
Yeah, on Facebook Live. Great. Hey, and thanks a lot to Danny for manning the phones there today. Appreciate what he's done at Sports Grid there, and of course Adam, all he does on the Let's Talk Hookup app. I'm going to step out for a couple days. I'm headed for a little warmer climate down there to go
Yeah.
surfing down Zihuatanejo for a couple days. And Ricky and Corey and Brandon will be back tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m. That's going to be a great
fun
show,
show.
man. That's going to be a great show. Triple co-host
Yeah.
there for them.
A lot of
So,
tackle tips. Bring your
yeah.
pen and take your notes. It's gonna be a fun
yeah,
one
for sure. So thanks for listening today. We'll see you tomorrow morning right back here.
1 minute.
Oh, okay, 1 minute now. So we still have a little bit of time there. But
I want to
yeah.
say, dude, fire your questions away because it's really fun having Brandon in there too.
Yeah.
Very unique, a lot of background, a lot of fishing, a lot of surface iron knowledge between him and Corey. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're certainly looking forward to that one tomorrow.
A lot of knowledge in one room for 2 hours.
Yeah, that's going to be good. And whether it be surface iron, plastics.
Yeah, have the master Corey in
master
here.
Corey talking plastics.
Yeah, gonna be fun
for sure. That's going to be a good one. 7 to 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. We'll see you right back here. Sports Grid Radio Network, YouTube and Facebook Live, and of course, always on the Let's Talk Hookup app. We'll see you then.